Denino's round 2. We're here to test out their 1951 special, guys, their signature pie. I already reviewed their marinara pie, their margarita pie. Let's go find out what their classic pizza tastes like. Let's go eat. I'm gonna order everything on the menu, guys. When I come to Denino's, I become a gavone. I mean, I try not to be a gavone, but when I go to Denino's, I order everything on the menu, man. My gavone comes out. I try to suppress it, but it just comes out. And here we go, guys. Look at that. That is the sign of good cheese. Very little trail. Marron, scungili, wings, baked clams. Oh, nice. Crackling on the bend. How about that? Nice dark undercarriage, no char. This isn't Joe and Pat's char, gas oven. It's a gas oven pie. 24-hour cold fermentation. Yep, we're good. 24-hour cold fermentation, guys. They fermented in the fridge. 24-hour crust. 24-hour dough. All right, guys, it's about that time. Into the lab we go. We have a classic here, guys. This here is a classic. The 1951 classic. Now, Denino's has been around since 1937, but they didn't start selling pizzas until 1951, and this is their signature 1951 pizza, guys. Look at that cheese spread to the edge, guys. Wow. Sauce and cheese spread to the edge of that fantastic crust right there, guys. Nice and flaky and airy. 24-hour cold fermented. The cheese goes to the edge and it's caramelized. A lot of char marks, guys. Look at this. Look how tight this pizza is, guys. Look how tight it is. Look how tight this pizza is, guys. It's not a messy pizza at all. Look at that separation. That's how you know you got good mozzarella on a pizza. Look how white that low moisture cheese is, guys. Look at the color on it. Yeah, you got oregano on the side there, but they bake it with the oregano on it. As you can see, there's some herbs present on this pizza. Guys, I hope my mic is working fine, but this place is packed. It's getting packed here on a Monday. Denino's packed to the brim with people. So, forgive the chatter. Look at that bottom, guys. Look at that bottom. Look at that, guys. A nice black stripe running across the entire brim of the crust. Some dark brown, not exactly char, but it's nice and roasted. It looks nice and roasted. You got extreme exterior crunch, and you got a nice soft center. The middle is nice and soft. The exterior is nice and crunchy. Light and airy, perfect. It's kind of like a mix between a quintessential New York gas oven style pizza and a Tavern style, because it's very thin. Not as thin as a Tavern style, but much thinner than your typical quintessential New York style pizza. All right, guys, the pizza gets cold. We give it another fold. Little slight flop on the tip. Does it retain its crunch? Why not? Why not? I'm talking with my mouth full. When I come to Denino's, I become a gavone. All right, guys, so This isn't the most extraordinary pizza. It's not Joe and Pat's. It's very quintessential, but it's done so well. And I'm going to put this up there with the Luigi's, with some of the best New York style pizzas out there. Joe's, solid 8.5. 8.5. It's not crazy good. It's not knocking on the 9's door like a Joe and Pat's. It doesn't have its own character. It's kind of like a hybrid Tavern New York style, but it's a little more ordinary than, you know, artisanal pizza. But despite that, guys, it's done so well. That crust is one of the best ever. I'm putting this crust up there with the Farah, Luigi's, Johnny's, and Mount Vernon. It's up there with some of the best, guys, in terms of gas oven crust.
Yes, they had no rides, but that was 60 years ago.
8.5 all day. Now I would have gave this a high 8 if it was more, there was more sauce on it. I think it is a little under sauced. If you want a saucy pie, get their margarita. If you want to check that video out, I did review it. I reviewed their margarita, which was loaded with sauce. But this is their cheese pizza. And some people like this type of pizza. They like it better than the margarita because they want more cheese. But if you want more sauce, go for their margarita and you'll enjoy that better. Take a look at those baked clams, guys. Nice amount of breading. But it turns out there's a nice meaty clam inside underneath all that breading after all, guys. Not a bad baked clam at all. Really juicy clam underneath all that breading. 7.5 for the baked clams. My favorite are at Umberto's Clam House in Manhattan. Best baked clams in the city, but 7.5, solid. Now, I'm not really a scungili guy, but this is some tender scungili, man. I got it with some mild sauce. I got it with their mild sauce. You can get it sweet or spicy. For those of you who know scungili, you know how tough it is. Not the case here, guys. Very tender. Very tender scungili right here. Holy cow. Do not leave Denino's without tasting this scungili, guys. You'll regret it for the rest of your life. I can't believe how tender the scungili is.
Really good, yeah?
The sauce is nice and it's like an arrabbiata. Fra Diavolo. Fra Diavolo. That scungili is an 8.5 all day. So tender. The wings are fantastic. For buffalo wings, they're nice and tidy. There is some buffalo sauce there on the bottom of the plate. And yeah, I guess it can get a little messy if you wipe up that sauce and scoop it onto those wings. Want to make sure you get some of that buffalo sauce on there. They're a little dry for buffalo wings, but I kind of like that. After all, I'm eating a freaking wing with a knife and fork. I don't want to get that stuff on my fingers. For a gavone, I'm a freaking meat freak. Last week, the people were getting on me for eating the ribs with a knife and fork at the barbecue place. I did a review for a barbecue place. People were knocking me for eating ribs with a knife and fork. But maybe I'm not a gavone after all.
They started yelling when they went on the bridge and they didn't come over.
Ooh. Now, eating wings with a knife and fork is one thing. But I never eat pizza with a knife and fork in New York, guys. Never eat pizza with a knife and fork in New York. You could do the wings, you could eat ribs with a knife and fork. But if you eat pizza with a knife and fork in Staten Island or in Brooklyn, they're going to think you're a tourist. And they're going to rob you when you step out of the joint. Very fresh. The chicken is so fresh. These wings here are definitely not pre-frozen. I bet you they are fresh and not pre-frozen because the chicken is just so tender. Not too spicy for a buffalo wing. There's a little bit of a thick, chewy skin on that wing. I would have liked a slightly crispier skin on the wing. No night out at Denino's is complete without taking a skip and hop across the street to the original Ralph's Ices for some dessert. It's a great night, man. It was a great day. Thanks for watching. Hit that like. Until next time, this is Antonio signing off.